Well, let's get started. Our theme this month is Wake Up, Boss Up, Stay Open to Magic and Miracles. And our topic today is the courage to be disliked. Again, the big picture goal that we're shooting for in all of these videos is to help you live and lead your most authentic, most awesome, kick-ass life. And the way this theme ties into that of wake up, boss up, and stay open to magic and miracles is this. First, let's talk about wake up. If you don't have your notebook now, go grab it, get a pen. You're going to want to take notes today on these big ideas. So step one is wake up. And this is all about waking up to our authentic power and possibility. Authentic power and possibility. You have power and there's possibility all around you to live and lead your most authentic, most awesome, kick-ass life. If you don't like some aspect of your life, you have the power to change it. It's there. You have it. And I want to help you wake up to that power and to the infinite possibility of what your life could look like, what it could feel like, and what it could be like. So we want to wake up to our infinite potential and possibility. We also want to wake up to opportunity and choice. That there's opportunity everywhere and you have choice all over the place, and you're one decision away from your most authentic, most awesome, kick-ass life. Every single moment of the day is an opportunity to step forward into our potential, to step forward into our authentic truth, to step forward into our best, most heroic versions of ourselves. There's an opportunity there all over the place. Every single interaction we have, and we want to wake up to the opportunities that surround us. Wake up to the choices that are all around us right now. They're everywhere. And the third part of wake up that I want to share today is we want to wake up to our unique strengths, our unique passions, and our unique interests. We want to wake up to our unique passions, strengths, interests. You are unique and you are powerful beyond any measure that you currently know. And you have a set of skills, you have a set of interests and passions that are unique and only unique to you. And life wants to be lived through you and as you. And we want to wake up to that. We want to quit living small and living around everybody else's expectations of what we could be and what we should be, what society tells us, what our parents tell us, what our loved ones tell us, all trying to help us fit into their mold. But really, you have a unique desire inside. You have unique passions and strengths, and life wants to be lived through you, through those strengths, through those passions, through those interests. Life wants to live through you. And as long as you don't allow that and cultivate that to happen, you will be unsatisfied. You will not be living your authentic truth. So we need to wake up to the idea, wake up to the fact that life wants to be lived through you. And it's our greatest challenge, and it's our biggest, most noble purpose in our life is to wake up to that truth, to wake up and take responsibility for actualizing our potential and being and becoming our best self and living from our truth, living from our deepest, most sincere, most genuine dreams and desires. It's our biggest challenge because a lot of people are happy with us being the way we are. It's our biggest challenge to courageously step into that. And it's our most noble responsibility, because if you don't do it, who will? If not now, when? Like, life is counting on you to let life live through you, through your creations, through your interactions, through everything that you're doing in the world. We want to wake up to that. And waking up to it and taking responsibility for it, it's the hardest thing that we will ever do. And it's also the most rewarding thing we will ever do. It's absolutely the hardest thing you will ever do, you and I will ever do, is to wake up to that, to live in alignment with it. And it's the most rewarding thing we will ever do. So we want to wake up to our authentic power and the possibility. We want to wake up to the endless opportunity and choices that are around us. We want to wake up to your unique passions, your unique interests, and the life that wants to be expressed through you and as you in your relationships, in the work that you do, in the life that you bring to life through you. So we want to wake up to that. And waking up to that, these truths, that's step one, which leads us to step two of our theme this month, which is to boss up. And when we think about bossing up, this is not about power and control over others. That's not what we're talking about here when we think about bossing up. This is not about blaming others or judging others and being self-righteous. That's not what bossing up is about either. Bossing up really truly is about taking 100% responsibility for our joy, for our satisfaction in life, for the outcomes we have, for our marriages, for our families, for our jobs, for our careers. It's taking 100% responsibility for everything that matters to us in our lives. 100%, no blame, no complaining. It doesn't matter where you came from, doesn't matter where you started from. You have an opportunity. You have opportunity, you have choice, and you're a powerful creator. You can create a different ending. Where you started doesn't matter. You can choose differently now, and that's the bossing up part of it, is that to make that decision that I'm going to be a conscious creator. I'm going to participate in the unfoldment of life consciously, not reactionary, not being a victim to the expectations of everybody else and everything around me, but to actually wake up to my authentic truth, to wake up to the possibility and the power that I have to be a co-creator and to build a life that I absolutely love. And in doing so, you actually help make the world a better place because you're happy. You're radiantly alive. You're living in alignment with your truth. You're bringing your most authentic gifts and passions and interests to the world. And bossing up, also, another note on this idea of bossing up is that I think sometimes people assume that bossing up is about power and control over others, and it has this sense of selfishness and greediness in it. And that's not the case. It's not the case at all, really. Bossing up really is about bossing up in our own lives, about being and becoming our best selves and keeping promises to ourselves. And when opportunities come up for us to say yes or no to, we make that decision based on love from a place of honoring your truth, not out of guilt, not out of shame, not out of things that we should do or we have to do or the expectations of others. But bossing up is really about 100% responsibility for your joy, your life. Nobody benefits from you not being happy and fulfilled. And this isn't in a selfish way. It's a genuine, sincere kind of thing. It's a hard thing to articulate, and I'm still trying to figure out how to best articulate it to us mere humans. I feel it, I get it, but being able to communicate it is a whole nother thing, if you know what I mean. So this is about, bossing up is about practicing responsible choice. It's about practicing responsible choice. It's knowing that things are going to happen, life's going to happen, and then my responsibility is my choice in that whatever happened is I get to choose how I want to show up to that. And I get to choose what I say yes to and what I say no to. That's all about the bossing up around it. So we want to wake up. That's step one. Step two is boss up, which is taking 100% responsibility for our lives, our careers, our families, our relationships, and our growth and our development and our healing. It's taking responsibility for that as well. Not blaming anyone else. It's taking responsibility for that healing that needs to take place, which then leads us into step three, which is to really let go, is to let go of having to control a particular outcome. That as we boss up, sometimes we think, oh, I'm bossing up now. I should have this particular outcome at a certain time. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. The harvest comes when the harvest comes. We can't put a time frame on it. All we can control is what's here right now. In this particular moment, how am I showing up? Am I showing up from my authentic truths? Am I showing up from love, or am I showing up from a place of fear? That's the only thing that we can focus on, and then we let the outcome take care of itself. We let it unfold however it's meant to unfold. We let go of controlling the outcome, the when, the where, the why, the who of it all. We maintain high expectations. We have goals that fire us up. We have a vision for how we want our life to look, how we want our relationships to look, how we want the world to look. We have a vision for that, but then we stay unattached from it. We let go, and we open ourselves up to magic, and we open ourselves up to infinite possibilities that we never even knew were there. It's all about, again, staying focused on my work. When I think about opening up to magic, I stay focused on my work, and then I just let it go, and whatever happens, happens. Yeah, so I boss up, starting my own business, decided Thursdays I'm going to do these. I'm showing up. I let go of the outcome. It's hard. It's not easy. I want to be attached to how many viewers there are, if anybody likes anything, those types of things. But in order for me to live in alignment with my truth, to live and lead my life authentically, then I need to let go. It'll happen when it happens, if it ever happens. It doesn't matter, because I'm focused on my joy right now. And this brings me joy to be able to share these ideas with you. And if I wasn't stepping into that, then maybe the 5 people that are watching right now, or the people who watch in the replay, wouldn't get the benefit. And it looks like we're having some technical stuff. Hopefully that'll take care of itself. The viewers are, yeah, let me know if you can still see it. That'd be great. So it's not, here's an important thing that I've just come across, is that when I wake up to my opportunities to choose, and I boss up, and I choose how I want to respond to life, what I'm going to say yes to, what I'm going to say no to, when I state that to the other person, then I have to let them react and respond however they're going to react and respond. What I have found in my own life is that I got really, really good at a very, very young age of picking up on the emotions of my parent figures in my life. And I actually took responsibility oftentimes for their well-being, their happiness, their purpose in life. And that helped smooth things out, because I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to cause waves. And so in order to kind of calm down the environment in my home, I got super sensitive to how they were, and I adjusted how I was to help de-escalate some of the energy in the room. And so I was taking responsibility for how they were going to react if I was to speak up for my truth. Right? So when I think about this, like, we're adults now, right? We're adults now. But when I tell someone I'm not going to go to a particular event, or I tell someone I'm not interested in a particular product, or I tell someone I don't agree with a particular way we're going with the organization, when I tell them that, and I'm coming from a place of authenticity and truth, and they react like a child throwing a tantrum because maybe I don't want to go there for the holiday, or I don't want to go to that particular event, and I decide to say no, and they kind of throw a little temper tantrum, they're used to me taking responsibility for that temper tantrum, right? And so I have to let go, and this is where we let the magic take place, is that they get to choose, they get to take responsibility for how they respond to my decision. But instead, I used to try to control for how they were going to respond to it. All I can do is focus on speaking from my truth, from my authenticity, and doing it in a way that is hopefully skillful, but I have a lot to learn there. But then it's up to them to choose how they respond. And as long as I'm taking responsibility for their reactions, their emotional charge from the situation, they don't get, I'm actually taking away their power and saying, you can't handle it. Instead of me standing there in the discomfort of this person throwing basically a temper tantrum, right? It's hard to watch your kid throw a temper tantrum. It's hard to watch a 30 or 40-year-old throw a temper tantrum. And they're growing. That's their healing. That's their responsibility. And I can say that now from a place of conviction and wisdom, and also a place that I'm still walking the path. I still have a tendency to want to take responsibility for that. And I can't. It's up to them what they want to do with the information I just delivered. And we can talk about it. And it's their responsibility to determine how they react and they respond to that. So this is about bossing up. It's about waking up, bossing up, and then letting go. Letting magic take place, making miracles take place. Who knows? Maybe they'll react or respond in a way that like takes the relationship to the next level, takes the business to the next level, because now they're taking responsibility for how they're showing up. They're taking responsibility for what it's like for someone to not agree with their ideas. And they're doing their own healing, and they're becoming more authentically themselves because you have become authentically yourself and you're not attached to controlling them. That's about letting go and letting the magic take place, which all of this then takes the courage to be disliked, right? It always takes the courage to be disliked, to be able to wake up, boss up, and let go. Is that a couple examples as I was thinking about how this might be true for some of us, is that here's a big one that I assume a lot of people in my age might relate to, is that just because an opportunity comes up doesn't mean you have to say yes to it. Just because an opportunity comes up doesn't mean you have to say yes to it. Now, this could be an opportunity that's like a positive thing, like a job, and everybody around you is telling you, you should go do that. That would make so much sense. Like, you'd make more money, you would have this, you would have that, like people telling you to do it. Just because the opportunity is there doesn't mean you should do it. Just because it's more money, just because other people told you to do it, if it doesn't align with who you know you're here to be and what you're here to do, right? Now, this also, and this is where it gets really, really hard, and I know this because I've lived this also, is sometimes parents will get sick and there's an opportunity to serve. There's an opportunity to help, right? There's an opportunity there. Now, you have power and choice in this. And it's not your responsibility. And people, this is my courage to be disliked. It's not your responsibility to care for them. It's an opportunity. And as long as we go care for them out of shame or guilt, you're not serving them and you're not serving the higher good of the planet. When that opportunity comes up, if you feel in your heart like, man, I really want to help them out, that is a totally different quality of energy going in to help them out. But when, I don't know about you, but I've been in situations where I've had family members asking for money or almost demanding it, and also demanding me to be in certain places at certain times, that the reason I said yes was not because it was good for me or good for them. It was out of guilt. It was out of shame. It was an opportunity. And just because the opportunity was there doesn't mean I should choose that. And that's part of that, having the courage to be disliked. A real life story example of this is David Foster. He's a musician. He's actually a producer, and you guys might have heard of him, but I mean, there's hundreds of songs that we get to enjoy, that we love, that move our souls because of the work that David Foster has done. And there's a great documentary about his life on Netflix, and I can't remember I think it was like Unscripted or Off the Record or Out of the Box or something like that, David Foster. But he woke up to his most authentic dreams and goals. He knew he wanted to be in the music business, and he knew he was really, really good at it. He helped the greats become even greater at what they did. Now he had to boss up in his life, and he had family members that got sick and died, and he was not there, and he chose a different path. He also had children in a different marriage that, to this day, they could hold a bunch of anger against him. And what was beautiful in that film is you saw the relationship of him with his children, and it was actually a really, really positive interactions. And I think that is possible when you take complete ownership for what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you're not trying to be something other than you are. He wasn't the stay-at-home dad. He owned that. He owned that. And if he didn't own that, then the world would have potentially suffered. That is just one perspective, and one way to potentially look at this is that when you follow your truth, when you live your most authentic, most awesome, kick-ass life, more than likely, there are people that are going to be disappointed by you. There are people that are not going to like you. And it takes a tremendous amount of courage to wake up, boss up, and let the magic happen. So the courage to be disliked today, when you think about, I'm going to give you a couple reflective things. And I know we're here right on the end of time. We've only got about 5 minutes left, but I want you to write these reflective questions down to consider. When it comes to bossing up, when it comes to waking up, that's the first step, waking up. How do you currently let fear of not being liked or loved or approved of or fitting in, how often are you letting that determine your decision? That if I don't say yes to this party invitation, then I might not be liked. If I don't say yes to the holiday with the family, then they might not love me. They might be disappointed. They might throw a temper tantrum. How often are you actually making your day-to-day decisions in a meeting, whether to speak up or to be agreeable, so you don't make waves, so you're not liked, that you can fit in? So first question, reflective question, is how much do you let the expectations and the fear of not fitting in, not being liked, not being loved, impact your decision making? That's the first reflective question under waking up. We want to wake up and bring awareness to how often we make decisions based out of fear, based out of not being good enough, not being liked, not being loved, disappointing others. And we want to then move into the second column and be reflective about it, of when we want to boss up, where in your life do you need to boss up a little bit? Do you need to take more responsibility for your joy, for your happiness, for your career, for your well-being, for your finances? Where do you need to boss up some more? Because you have a responsibility with your finances too, right? And if people are guilting and shaming you into giving them money, you're not being responsible for your own long-term life. When you're 80 or 90, you're going to be dependent on someone else now, right? So bossing up. Where in your life do you need to boss up? That's the second reflective question. The third reflective question then is, when it comes to staying open and allowing magic and miracles to show up, what expectations about how something should or shouldn't go do you need to let go of? What kind of expectations do you need to let go of so you can just focus on what's important now, what's in front of you, what you can control? What kind of timelines might you need to let go of? What kind of responses from others do you need to let go of? Those are the three reflective questions when we think about waking up, bossing up, and letting go. So, how often do you let the fear of others, their expectations, derail you and your decision making? So the call to action then today, before we head out, is, what's one insight you gained today? If you could share that in the comments below, that'd be awesome. Or what's one action you're feeling inspired to take over the next 48 hours? And maybe it's using those reflective questions to see where you could wake up a little bit more, where you could boss up a little bit more, and maybe where you could let go and kind of let some of that magic come in, so you don't have to feel the pressure. It's about letting your sense of control around the outcomes go, but allowing magic to show up. Who knows? You might end up with more than you thought was possible. People might surprise you. Let's let that potential happen by letting go of what we expect them to respond, when we expect them to respond by. So anyways, that's it for today. I hope you guys got some value today. We're running out of time here. I'm